Before we get started, today's video is sponsored by Opera GX. Opera GX is a web browser that I've been using for the past few months that I personally love, as this is a browser built for gamers. I never thought a web browser would come with so many features, but Opera GX is loaded. So Opera GX gives you full control of your browser. So GX controls this feature which allows you to limit the CPU or RAM you want the browser to use. So you can have a bunch of tabs open and still not affect your gaming performance. It also has a network limiter, which is so helpful. It lets you limit how much bandwidth your browser uses while you game or stream so you can gain performance. So I had Chrome and GX open at the same time running the same exact tabs, and just look how much extra network and RAM and everything Chrome was using, which is the last thing you want when you're gaming or streaming. So Opera also has amazing customization, the best I've seen. First of all, it's so aesthetically pleasing, but you can customize it with various themes, wallpapers, colors, and of course a dark and light mode. But since this is a browser built for gamers, they definitely hold it down for the gamers with GX Corner. So GX Corner is this little tab where they help you find free games, amazing deals, new releases, breaking game news, and it's all in one place. And it doesn't even matter what platform you're on, you can find something for you. And there's also an Opera GX available on mobile devices that connects to your desktop browser. There are just so many features in this browser that will definitely make your life easier and your browsing experience much more fun. You can connect your music via Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, connect your Facebook, WhatsApp, and other social chats. This browser has everything I've ever wanted in a web browser. So go download the browser with a link in the description or the pinned comment and see your browsing experience get changed for the better. Trust me, you're not going to regret it. Thanks again for Opera for sponsoring this video, but now it's time for today's feature presentation. Perc Angle is without a doubt one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Everybody and their mom knows that. But when it comes to the 2000s, there was no wrestler that was tweaking more than prime Perc Angle. Perc Angle in his prime, to simply put it, was a maniac. And goddamn do I love prime Perc Angle. No, this was a special time to be alive, because this man was running around doing the wildest shit for absolutely no reason. Especially in the mid 2000s when Perc Angle reached a certain point of his career, he just started tweaking and became a totally different man. And there's so many memories and moments that I remember that are some of the wildest moments I've ever seen in wrestling history. The first memory I have of Perc Angle was not drinking milk or being the Olympic hero. No, I remember Perc Angle just straight up being a psychopath. I first saw Perc Angle in 2004, and this was the year that he was named the general manager of SmackDown, and he was going to be running the show, and everything was cool until one episode. To simplify the storyline, the Big Show was walking around and couldn't find a Big Mac, so he got hangry, and for some reason he started bullying poor Tori Wilson, and this resulted in Perc Angle pleading the Big Show to stop. The Big Show was going to chokeslam Tori Wilson off the top of a balcony. What happens instead? Well, it ends up with Perc Angle getting chokeslammed off the top of the balcony straight to the floor, and they made it seem like Perc Angle had just died. I mean, look at his body, look at the positioning, his legs, there was blood leaking out of his head. I was watching this live, 6 years old, and I knew for sure at that point that Perc Angle, bye-bye, he's dead, he's never waking up. There was no way he was ever gonna wake up after this. Fam, just look at this. Even the way he was laying there, it looks like one of those crime scene chalk outlines. Now, I knew for sure he was dead. Until 2 weeks later, Angle came back on SmackDown in a wheelchair, which first of all, he had his leg in a cast. What about his head, his neck, his everything? We should have known at this moment that this Perc Angle was man. This guy was a special breed of a wrestler. I don't know why this guy always amps up, I won a gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Yo, he should be talking about how he came back to life after dying. But let me tell you, at this exact moment when Perc Angle came back in the wheelchair, nothing was ever the same again. Perc Angle in 2004 is when he just started tweaking as the wheelchair general manager. He abused his power, he did whatever he wanted, and honestly, he was hilarious. And the best part was, a few months later, you found out the whole time he was faking his injury, and when he came back as a wrestler, he just let loose and he was a straight up menace to society. On an episode of SmackDown in 2004, in a tag team match against the Big Show and Eddie, when Big Show was left all alone in the ring, Perc Angle just went outside to ringside, went under the announcers tables, pulled out this big ass case. It looked like a Predator missile for Modern Warfare 2. And what does this guy pull out? On network television, he just casually pulls out a strap. And this strap looked like it was straight from the Super Nintendo, and he started moving around like he was playing Duck Hunt. He pressed circle to crouch, aimed down his sights, and he slid into the ring. He pressed R1 and bang. Perc Angle shot the Big Show on SmackDown. What kind of wrestling was this? Just hear that sentence one more time. Kurt Angle shot the Big Show on SmackDown. I was watching this live as a kid and I really thought that this time Big Show was dead. Yeah, Kurt Angle survived his near-death experience, but this man just got shot. There is no way he's alive. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I had no idea what a tranquilizer was back then. All you see is Big Show just stumbling and tumbling. Meanwhile, Kurt Angle was smiling and drooling all over the damn place. And then this psycho just gets on top of him with his goons and just starts shaving his head in the ring. Shaving the Big Show's head after shooting with the tranquilizer while thousands of people just stood there and watched. Then in 05, things just got more and more out of hand. Now what's worse than shooting a guy with a tranquilizer and shaving his head? Well, you're about to find out, because first, he brought back the legendary Sensational Sherry to help him sing his own version of Shawn Michaels' theme song, I'm just a sexy Kurt, I'll make your ankle hurt. Alright, that's cool, you know, respect, amazing song, Kurt Angle, I love it, hope it goes platinum. And then he just puts the 47-year-old woman in an ankle lock for no reason. But nothing was as wild as what this man wanted to do with Sharmell. He found himself in a feud with Booker T, and it was just a normal wrestling feud until he started walking around stalking Booker T's wife. And then one day in an interview, just flat out says this.
I want to have sex with your wife. Bestiality sex.
Yo, I'm telling you, straight up menace to society. And of course, what does he end up doing? In a match with Booker T, he's beating up Booker T in the ring, and he just runs away in the middle of the match, runs backstage, goes to Booker T's locker room, opens the door, stares at the camera with his creepy ass smile, and he just does his thing. Look at his face, look at what is wrong with him? This is not a normal human being. Kurt Angle, 1 month was having a 5-star classic at WrestleMania with Shawn Michaels. The next month, he was doing this. As 2005 went on, the Maniac just kept tweaking. He moved to Raw, he wilded out there. I'll never forget this random ass woo-off with Ric Flair. He beat Cena, and it was cool, you know. For the past year and a half, Angle was just having fun. I mean, I guess if you want to call this fun, I don't know. But little did we know, in mid-2005 was when the legend of Perc Angle was being born. Now you might say, Wrestling Gifts, what exactly is Perc Angle? And Perc Angle was when Kurt Angle, after his countless injuries, was so addicted to painkillers that they gave him superpowers, and he became a superhero. Perc Angle. Now listen, it might sound like I'm glorifying drug use, I'm not, okay? But when Kurt Angle became Perc Angle, he became such a beast and he started doing shit that did not make any sense whatsoever. By mid-2005, Kurt Angle said himself that he was taking 65 extra strength vitamin pills a day at the height of his addiction problem. And could you really blame him? Okay, he had broken necks, broken this, broken that. He needed the painkillers to survive. By 2006, Perc Angle was in full effect and the legend began. And what made Perc Angle so insane was, even though everything personally for him was going downhill, but somehow in the ring, this guy was in his prime. And that's why Perc Angle is this mythical figure. In 06, once he became the wrestling machine and put that mouth guard in his mouth, it was over, it was done. He became a superhero. But like I said, this was not good for him. This was obviously the worst thing he could possibly do. So what happens? He gets released from the WWE. In his prime, at what seemed like it was going to be the peak of his career, Kurt Angle was let go from the WWE. But Perc Angle, man, he was not gonna stop wrestling. No. He was still gonna wrestle, and he signed with another wrestling company, TNA Wrestling. In a move that shocked the industry, Perc Angle jumped over to TNA, and just from the video that announced his signing, you just knew that this man was going to go mental.
Yeah!
So Angle signed with TNA, made his debut in what was such a hype moment against Samoa Joe, and for the next 5 years, while popping 60 pills a day, this man risked his life and his body, and he was doing things with his body that shouldn't be possible. Just look at this stuff. He pulls up to TNA and he just, no, it's a wrap. Shortly after his debut, he has a match with Sting. What does he do? He goes to the top rope, he's stumbling and tumbling off balance and just casually jumps in the air and does a 450 splash / knee drop, whatever the hell that was. This was a 220-pound Olympic heavyweight wrestler doing this. Why? How? Huh? Even Kevin Nash was just there like, What? He would go out there, get DDT'd off the top of the rope. He made the main event Mafia, started calling himself the Godfather, and he did this. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, this iconic Perc Angle moment, this is the peak of Perc Angle. This madman did a flying senton off the top of the ramp for no reason whatsoever. No, I'm genuinely serious. Abyss didn't even know that Angle was gonna do this. He was just standing there, looks up, and just sees Angle do a senton. Look at the height, look at the speed. Kurt, what are you doing? And then in the same match, oh yeah, how about, ladies and gentlemen, let's just do this. Why not, right? It's not like I'm gonna feel it, might as well just do it. Whoever taught Kurt Angle how to do a senton should be banned, because he just kept going and going. More sentons to Mick Foley over tables, started doing ladder matches where he falls out the ring and animations that look like it's straight from a video game. He was literally out there just killing himself. For more details on his TNA run, please go check out Marky D123's video. He covers everything, and it's one of my favorite videos of his I've ever seen. But yeah, speaking of Perc Angle, during this time, did I mention that his wife left him and he had a bunch of DUIs? I feel so bad for Mr. Angle in this. Like, it's so sad because his life was just going downhill, but he was just leaving it all out in the ring. But I'm serious, there is no way you can look at me and not tell me that from 06 until 2011, Kurt Angle did not have superpowers. But the absolute peak of Perc Angle took place at Lockdown 2010. It was a steel cage match, Anderson versus Angle, and the fact that I mentioned steel cage, you guys already know what went down. He had done it once before back in 2001 but missed, but this time he was in 2001 Kurt Angle. He was Perc Angle. After 20 or so minutes of killing each other, Angle was on top of the cage and he simply said, YOLO. At this point, what do I even say? Roll the clip. What the I can't. Ladies and gentlemen, Kurt Angle in the mid to late 2000s. It started off as haha, oh my god, Angle is crazy, he's shaving heads and making people tap, to yo, oh my god, Kurt Angle is on one right now. Can someone please get him out the ring? This man was at his absolute worst, but still carried TNA wrestling on his back, risking it all every single night, going above and beyond what he needed to do. The bean was kicking in, everything was kicking in, and as funny as it is to joke about it and crazy everything that happened, don't forget how sad this truly was. Shout out to Kurt Angle, he's a legend, he's a GOAT. Thank God that he's clean, he's sober, and he's living his best life. But this time period, honestly, it just leaves me speechless. What a time it was to be alive.